Thank you all for joining us. We're really excited to have Ms. Sarah Bitzer with us today, who is our Business Development Manager for Rocky Mountaineer. She's going to give you the presentation on Rocky. Feel free to, like Ali said, raise your hand, ask any questions in the chat. We'll definitely take some questions at the end as well. So we'll turn it over to Ms. Sarah and she can get started.
All right, thanks so much. I'm super excited to be here and to have the opportunity to share Rocky Mountaineer with all of you today. Rocky Mountaineer has been offering luxury rail travel through the Canadian Rockies, and now we are in the American Southwest. We started a new route last year, which I'm going to share with you today. We do operate during the daylight hours only through the months of April to October. So you don't sleep on our trains. We actually partner with different hotels along the journey, and I'll share those with you as well as we move forward. Rocky Mountaineer is known for our spacious blue and gold domed luxurious coaches, the amazing service that we have on board, as well as our fresh and flavorful food, beverages, and our amazing hosts. And before I get too far into this, I am going to share a quick video with you, and I'll have another one to share a little bit later down in the presentation that features our Rockies to the Red Rocks. So it's actually really exciting to watch that video because I just got off the train and did our first passage to the west just last week. So a lot of that looks much more familiar to me now. I do want to take a few minutes to talk to you a little bit about our rail routes. We're going to go ahead and start in Canada, but we do have 3 routes in Canada. We have our first passage to the west, which is our most popular route, our journey through the clouds, as well as our Rainforest to the Gold Rush. And as I mentioned, now we do have a new route located in the United States, our Rockies to the Red Rocks. You can take any one of our journeys traveling either eastbound or westbound, whichever you prefer, whichever is easiest for you. We're going to start with our first passage to the west, and this is actually the route that I traveled last week. It's really a great route for all of you who might really enjoy history, because it does retrace the historic Canadian Pacific Railway, which is the route actually that united Canada from east to west over 125 years ago. This is actually Rocky Mountaineer's flagship route. It was our very first one, and it continues to be the most popular route with us. We are the only passenger train actually that travels these tracks as well. So you're going to travel along emerald green glacier-fed rivers and lakes and take in spectacular scenery from the Coast Mountains, Columbia Mountains, and Rocky Mountains. Some of the highlights of this particular route include the spiral tunnels and Stony Creek Bridge. Both of these are engineering masterpieces, and when you're on board, the hosts that are in your particular coach are going to be talking to you all about it. In addition, you're going to pass Cregalicky, and this is actually the location where that last spike was driven in on the railway 125 years ago. When I talk about Cregalicky, I like to pause for just a moment to let you know that along the route at various different points in time, you're going to notice that the train is slowing down. So we're only traveling at about 35 miles per hour to begin with. But at various different times, especially some of these historical areas, that train will slow down even more. We call it Kodak speed because we really want to make sure that you get some good pictures. Just last week when I was on the route, every once in a while, the train would start to slow and you could really feel it slowing down. So everyone would start looking around and wondering what it was that the train was slowing down for. At one point in time, it was actually a bear. Unfortunately, I did not get to see it. I was pretty disappointed, but a lot of people did. So you can expect to go again at those Kodak speeds of no more to 30, 35 miles per hour and slowing down at various different times as well. The next route that we have in Canada is our journey through the clouds. This particular journey takes you through some of the most gorgeous landscapes of British Columbia's interior. You're going to see a lot of untouched, breathtaking natural beauty, including the Pyramid Falls, this area right here in the lower left-hand corner. This can only be seen by train. You might be able to see the tippy top of it from the highway, but the best way that you're going to see it is by train. You're also going to see the awe-inspiring Mount Robson, which is the highest point of the Canadian Rockies, so high that it actually has its own weather system. You may have noticed, and I'm actually going to go back because I kind of breezed by this. When you're looking at this particular map, these itineraries start in Vancouver, and then you can see this white box. Anytime you see the white box, that's where you're going to be doing an overnight. So for both our first passage to the west as well as our journey through the clouds, you're going to have an overnight stay in Kamloops. So it's just an overnight stay. Depending on what time you actually get into that destination, you can enjoy some restaurants or pubs or maybe take a quick walk. But just kind of keep in mind that these overnight stays are just that. They're places where you're just going to get a good night's sleep so you can be refreshed for the journey on the next day on the train. Our third and final route in Canada is our Rainforest to the Gold Rush. And this is really perfect if you are a little bit more of an adventure seeker, but more importantly, if you want more time on the train, because if you can see here now, you can see that there's actually 2 overnights. So the train's going to start in Vancouver. This is where you're going to board, and then you're going to head up to Whistler, where you're going to overnight in Whistler. This particular leg is only about a 4-hour journey. So I'll show you a little bit more about Whistler when you get there. It's kind of nice to know that you're getting there a little bit earlier so you can really enjoy that particular city because it is a neat little place to go. The second day of the journey, you're going to head up to Quesnel. Stay there overnight before on the third day, you're going to head over to Jasper. So again, if you're looking for a little bit more time on the train, this is going to be a great route for you. You're going to go through, again, some areas that's rarely seen any other way than by the train. You'll catch views of the Pacific rainforest. You'll see fabulous fjords and ancient cedars. Just you can tell by the name of the route, the Rainforest to the Gold Rush, you kind of get to experience that Gold Rush era, especially as you get into Quesnel. Again, 2 nights on this particular route, with the first one being in Whistler. And as I mentioned, that route between Vancouver and Whistler is only about 4 hours. So you're getting in there right around lunchtime. Just this picture kind of gives you a good feel of what Whistler is like. If you remember, it was the home of the 2010 Winter Olympic Games, but it's got a lot of nice outdoor activities and art galleries, restaurants, spas, and more. Whereas when you head up to Quesnel, again, just an overnight stay. So you're probably going to get in there early enough to have dinner and then off to bed you go. But it is a nice little town. It was originally a mining town, so it's really kept that old time charm. Before I move down into the United States, I do want to mention circle journeys. So when we're talking about the Rainforest to the Gold Rush, I said, if you want a little bit more time on the train, that's going to be a good route for you because you're getting 2.5 days on board. If you want even more time, or maybe you want to experience 2 different routes, we do offer what we call circle journeys, where you can board the train in Vancouver. You would take the Rainforest to the Gold Rush route. So you've got your 3 days on the train before you end in Jasper. Once you get into Jasper, you can see these green dotted lines on the map here. This is where you're going to do some motor coach tours as you make your way down to Lake Louise or Banff. At that point in time, you would board the train again and you would do the first passage to the west back to Vancouver. So it's a really great opportunity for you, again, to have more time on the train and to experience 2 different routes. So last but not least, we do have our newest route right here in the United States, our Rockies to the Red Rocks. On this particular route, you're going to journey 2 days through the United States between Denver and Moab, Utah. You're going to see some vast canyons, inspiring deserts, and of course the natural archways of Arches National Park. And I do have a little bit of a longer video to share with you, but I think you'll understand once you see it why I like to share it.
As you drift away from the lively city of Denver, the sun wakes the Colorado Rockies, and you begin your journey through landscapes that have been transformed over millennia. And it feels as though it was all created just for you. Roaming through breathtaking plains, you reach an engineering marvel known as the Big Ten Curve. Relax in comfort as you cut through 6 miles of hand-blasted rock in the historic Moffat Tunnel, where you cross the Continental Divide. Take in majestic canyons, slowly carved away by the Colorado River on its long march to the Pacific Ocean. As you travel along tracks stitched into towering red canyons, indulge in world-class service from our glass dome coaches. Wind along endless, captivating canyon walls before arriving at the historic town of Glenwood Springs, famous for its geothermal amenities. Begin your day exploring the monumental Tibet Canyon, part of Grand Mesa, the world's largest flat-top mountain. Then witness the glory of Mount Garfield. Standing proudly at over 6,700 feet, it's sure to be a high point. The surreal beauty of the crimson-stained cliffs surrounds you, displaying millions of years of erosion as you cross Ruby Canyon. Finally, you approach Moab, as the red sandstone mountains that the American Southwest is so famous for come into view. This is your gateway to the mighty 5 national parks. From the Rockies to the Red Rocks, this ever-changing journey captures the unimaginable majesty of this unique place that's been 1,000,000 years in the making.
It's like a great road trip, but on the train. So you don't have to do any of the driving. And again, some of the areas that you're going to be traveling on, you can't get there by a car to begin with. So it's an amazing opportunity to see this part of our own country right here in the United States in the most luxurious way. So when you're doing the Rockies to the Red Rocks, like I said, it goes between Denver, Colorado and Moab, Utah, with an overnight stay in Glenwood Springs. So this is a really cute little resort town. It's got some shopping and restaurants, including the Doc Holliday Tavern. So a little claim to fame that Glenwood Springs has there. Doc Holliday actually died in Glenwood Springs. And then just a little side tip, if you want a little bit extra time in this particular area, talk to your agent at Uniglobe to take you from Denver to Moab Springs, because you would have breakfast and lunch on the train. And then once you get into Glenwood Springs, you would be able to have dinner in that destination. So you do have a little bit more time when you are going westbound on this particular route. So I want to share with you a little bit about what you can experience when you're on board our trains, because Rocky Mountaineer at the end of the day is all about bringing back that admiration and romance of train travel. So it wouldn't be a rail journey if there wasn't the train whistle that signifies boarding on the train. Just from my own experiences now, I've done the Rockies to the Red Rocks, as well as the first passage to the west. And there is something a little extra special about hearing a train whistle when you know it's you on the train that everybody is now watching. So once you actually get on board, you're going to sit down in your comfortable seat, very spacious, open and airy feel to it. And your host is going to give you a beverage where you're going to enjoy a welcome toast with your host and your fellow travelers. Throughout your journey, you're going to experience culinary delight. So sometimes I kind of joke that we're not serving you lean cuisine, meals that we popped into a microwave and warmed up for you. These are full multi-course meals. We serve you gourmet snacks, and they're served throughout the day. We also will serve complimentary non-alcoholic as well as alcoholic beverages throughout your journey. And it's all included in the price of your package. So everything that you're eating and drinking on the train is included. I also like to point out one of the things that really makes your journey with Rocky Mountaineer even more special, and that's our onboard hosts. So yes, of course, they are there to serve you your beverages, they're serving you your meals, but they're also there entertaining you with stories, really making those landscapes come alive. So as you're passing that particular mountain, or you're going past Cregalicky, or maybe you're going over Cisco Bridge, your onboard host is stopping, grabbing their microphone to tell you all about what it is that you're seeing. The other thing that's really exciting is that all of the hosts are communicating to each other as well. So maybe a couple coaches ahead of yours, that's the coach that sees the bear or sees other kinds of wildlife. Those hosts are communicating with each other so you don't miss out on anything. So speaking of wildlife, yes, you can expect to see a variety of different wildlife depending on where you are. We did see some along our journey, lots of eagle, which was really exciting. I was hoping to see a bear, and although some of the two people that were on the train with me did, unfortunately I did not, but I'm sure I will be traveling that again. So we're going to talk a little bit about our rail service levels, and we actually offer two different onboard service choices, our single level silver leaf and our bi-level gold leaf service. So we'll start talking a little bit first about our single silver leaf service. It's a custom designed single level domed car. It's got oversized glass dome windows and provides great views. When you are traveling with us on silver leaf coaches, you're actually served your meals and your drinks right from the comfort of your own seat. This gives you an idea of what that single level service looks like. And I do like to put the American flag and the Canadian flag on there just as a reminder to myself to let you know that single leaf is available on both our US route as well as our Canadian route. And I point that out because our next service level gold leaf is only available in Canada. And it's only available in Canada because this is an actual two-level, fully glass domed coach. It's got beautiful panoramic views, but unfortunately, it's just a little bit too tall to get completely through the Moffat Tunnel. So we could get you in the tunnel, but we wouldn't be able to get you out of the tunnel. So we can only do silver leaf in the United States. When you are in Canada, you have the option of taking silver or gold leaf on any one of our routes, with the exception of our Rainforest to the Gold Rush. So that one route that has 3 days on the train is all gold leaf. So when you're sitting in gold leaf, you can see you've got these nice big panoramic videos. The upper level is actually the main viewing level. So this is where everybody eats. And then when it's time to go downstairs, you get to go down there to actually have your meals. So now instead of sitting in your seat, you're sitting at a nice comfortable table for four, enjoying a gourmet meal. I also like to point out at the end of the train car here, there's a really nice large outdoor viewing platform. So you're able to get outside and get a different feel for the areas that you are traveling through. So do strongly suggest you don't stick your head out the side of that, however, but you can get some really great views. So again, our gold leaf is only available in Canada. This kind of gives you an idea of what that looks like next to the silver leaf. So you can see it is a little bit taller. You've got these nice big windows that you can take a look out of, go downstairs to enjoy your meal, or go outside and get that nice fresh air. So I did mention to you that you don't sleep on our trains. We actually partner up with a variety of different hotels in each one of our destinations so that you get a good night's sleep. All of our hotels are conveniently located in areas where there's plenty of things to do. I also like to mention that when you are traveling with Rocky Mountaineer, all of your luggage is taken care of for you for the train journey. So for example, when you are actually on the train, just say, for example, you're traveling first passage to the west, so you're having an overnight in Kamloops. Before you actually even get off the train in Kamloops, your onboard host is giving you your room key. So when you step off the train, if you have time and you want to walk around or go have a bite to eat, you're certainly welcome to do that. When you're ready to go to your hotel, you're already checked in. You simply just go to your hotel, go straight to your room, and your luggage is going to be there waiting for you. Again, all of the hotels are conveniently located in where there's plenty of things to do. So I want to talk a little bit about each one of the destinations that the train is going to travel to, because we do have carefully curated packages to offer a wide variety of things to do along the journey. You're more than welcome to pick one of our packages with us, or if there's something else that you wanted to do, you could always just do a rail only with us and kind of go out and about and do things on your own. So let's talk a little bit about some of the things that you can expect with Rocky Mountaineer. We do have sightseeing activities in Vancouver, Jasper, Lake Louise and Banff, and Calgary in Canada. And then in the United States, we have activities in Moab, Utah, and in Denver, Colorado. So just starting back in Canada, Vancouver is a stop at each one of those Canadian routes. It's a top destination in Canada. Just looking at the picture, you can see that it's an exciting place to be. For those of you who enjoy cruising, you might want to consider adding a Rocky Mountaineer journey to one of your Alaskan cruises that either starts or ends in Vancouver. This is a great city just to go out and about and walk around and do some shopping or dining, do whatever you want, or you can consider taking a variety of different tours. You can cross the Capilano Suspension Bridge. You can visit Granville Island. It's just the home of a lot of unique shops and restaurants. You could bike through Stanley Park. Or if you want to go a little bit further, Victoria and Butch Art Gardens tour is an option for you. I have not had the opportunity to experience it, but I do hear that it's gorgeous. Moving on to Jasper, this is an ideal location for you if you're looking for a little bit of wilderness along your journey. It's a really cute, quiet mountaintop filled with wildlife, restaurants, and adventure. Definitely a location worth staying an extra night or two. One of the top activities here is to take a cruise on Malign Lake. And then as you weave your way down to Lake Louise, you can do the Ice Explorer tour. I know we're probably all sick of snow and everything in Ohio, but it's a little bit different when you're in Canada. You could also experience the Glacier Skywalk as you do the Icefields Parkway roadway down towards Lake Louise. So we've probably all seen pictures like this, right? Lake Louise is known for its beautiful turquoise blue waters. It's actually the most photographed lake in the world, and we actually have the Chateau Lake Louise. It's the hotel that we use in this particular destination. Gorgeous area to spend some time in, lots of different activities to do, of course, including shopping, but hiking trails. So if you're looking to get out and about and do a little bit of hiking, you can certainly do that in Lake Louise. Moving on down towards Banff, it's one of the most beautiful places in the world. I was actually right here the other day, and this picture doesn't even do it justice, but there's just something about standing at the end of the road, looking down the street at all of the different shops and restaurants, and then you have this magnificent mountain. This is actually a home of Canada's first UNESCO protected park. Banff is known for its mineral hot springs and, of course, that great big mountain at the end of the road there. So lots of options for you to do some dining and shopping. Of course, hiking. You can take a walk along many different walking paths, including this pedestrian bridge that goes over Bow River. Or if you're really looking for something unique to do, I highly recommend the Banff Gondola. Definitely overcame a lot of fears when I did this last week. It was an amazing journey. It was one of the most peaceful rides up. It's about 8 minutes in that gondola. About 4 people can fit in there. Once you get to the top of the mountain, there's a little shop up there. There's a restaurant. You could really spend quite a bit of time there. Definitely something that you want to have reservation for as well, but highly, highly recommend that. In Canada, you would end your journey or start it in Calgary. So Calgary is just a dynamic city, lots of things to do, great place to, like I said, begin or end your journey. When you're in Canada, we do partner with Brewster Tours. So if you're taking one of our escorted tours, you could expect to be working with this motor coach company, has a driver and guide, so you can really just sit back and relax. Now, I'm just going to be very clear about this. We do offer self-drive. So the challenge right now with COVID is rental cars. So we've actually stopped selling our self-drive explorations right now for this season. If it's something that you're interested in doing, I can't guarantee that it's available. Almost took it out of the presentation, but I do want to just let you know that when things improve and when the rental car situation gets a little bit better, that'll be something that you're able to do. Moving down into the United States, you have the Rockies to the Red Rocks between Denver and Moab. So Denver is full of the museums, aquariums, botanical gardens, restaurants, and shopping. Larimar Square is this 2-block district. It's got these beautiful Victorian era buildings that are home to many of the city's best restaurants, bars, and boutiques. Denver, if you didn't know this, it's kind of nicknamed the Napa Valley of craft beer. So there's lots of different breweries in that lower downtown district, if that's something that you enjoy. And then Moab. Moab is Arches National Park and Canyonlands, surrounded by some of the world's most beautiful and incredible natural red sandstone landscapes. And the town itself of Moab just offers that small town hospitality, a really exciting place to be. Great opportunity to see the national parks. So I'm talking to you a little bit about some of the featured packages that we have. So we have the 4 actual rail routes, and each route is going to have a variety of packages that you can choose from. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but you can certainly talk to Brian over there at Uniglobe, and he can help you out a little bit more to identify the package that is best for you. And really, it's just going to kind of depend on how much time you want to spend in each one of the different destinations that we talked about. So I'll show you a couple of examples. This is our first passage to the West route. Like I said, this is our most popular route, and the At Leisure package is our most popular package. So you could fly into either Vancouver or Calgary. So for presentation purposes, I'm just going to always go eastbound. So you'd fly into Vancouver at least a day before. You could add in a day or two to this if you would like, but fly in the day before. You'll board the train the next day. So you're going to do one overnight, and then you're going to do the train journey over to Kamloops. This particular stretch is a good 10 hours, and it really kind of depends on rail traffic as well, as far as what time you actually might get into Kamloops. By the time you get into Kamloops, like I said, you already have your room key. You can easily just walk right to your room and go straight to bed if that's something that you wanted to do. Or if you had a little extra time, you could go out and maybe grab a bite to eat. You'll overnight in Kamloops before you do the next day, which is about another 10 hours on the train. It's absolutely magnificent. This particular route here is gorgeous. So you do your second day on the train, and then you're going to arrive in Lake Louise. You can see here now that you have 2 nights in Lake Louise. And you're going to be doing a lot of different sightseeing, going up to Columbia Icefield. You'll spend 2 nights there before you head down to Banff, 2 nights in Banff, and 1 night in Calgary before you depart. Now, oftentimes when you're doing some of these excursions, they're not necessarily full-day excursions. So you'll have some organized things to do, but you're also going to get a little bit of time on your own. So that's a great itinerary. Then we have our Journey Through the Clouds. This is our Explorer package. So very similar to First Passage to the West, where you're going to fly into Vancouver at least the night before. You do that first stretch, the same, up to Kamloops where you overnight. But now you're going to head up and you're going to go towards Jasper. Once you get into Jasper, you're going to enjoy 2 nights there, and then you'll start your motor coach tours and journeys as you make your way down to Lake Louise, where you'll enjoy 1 night, then 1 night in Banff, and again, ending in Calgary. Last but not least, in Canada, this is the Rainforest to Gold Rush route. So again, starting in Vancouver, taking the train first as you make your way towards Jasper, and then you have your 2 nights in Jasper. You're doing motor coach tours as you make your way down to Calgary. Again, I just do want to remind you, you can do this in the opposite direction. So if you decided to, you could actually fly into Calgary. So you get there the day before, and then you would just do this itinerary in the reverse. So when you do it that way, you're doing all of the motor coach land tours first before you actually board the train heading over to Vancouver. So our Rockies to the Red Rocks, this is an at-leisure package. I'm really excited about this particular package. I'm just very excited about this route overall because, again, it's a great way to see this part of the country. But I also want to point out that the packages that we have with our Rockies to the Red Rocks aren't as robust as what you would see in Canada, because what we're finding after just a few months operating this particular route last year is that because it's the United States, a lot of people are more willing and desire a little bit more to kind of go out and do things on their own versus doing any kind of a motor coach tour. However, this is a great package if you really want that escorted feel. You would fly into Vegas or Denver, but let's just say we're going to fly into Vegas. You're going to have 2 nights in Vegas, and then you're going to be doing motor coach tours towards Bryce Canyon via Zion National Park. You're going to do that first overnight in Bryce Canyon. When we offered this last year, it actually went straight through from Vegas to Moab, and people were just saying that it was just too long and they felt too rushed. So we really take your feedback we take that to heart, and we make some positive changes based on that. So we changed that, giving everybody an overnight in Bryce. And then on the second day, Capitol Reef National Park as you get over to Moab. Once you get into Moab, you actually get 2 nights there before you're going to board the train. So while you're there, you can work with your agent at Uniglobe to get your tickets and secure your spots at Arches National Park and Canyonlands. Enjoy that. Go a little bit into the downtown Moab area and enjoy that town before you board the train in Moab, making your way over to Denver. Now, this particular route between Moab and Glenwood Springs, this is only about 4 hours. So you board the train after lunch on this particular route. You're going to enjoy dinner as you make your way over to Glenwood Springs. You'll overnight in Glenwood Springs. And then the next day, you're going to enjoy the train journey between Glenwood Springs and Denver, having breakfast and lunch on the train. But I love the fact that we add 2 nights to your stay in Denver. So you really get a good full day to experience that city. So those are the packages. I'm going to just kind of wrap up the presentation right now with our final call promotion. This is available right now. Offer ends on June 30th. It's going to give you a little bit of a discount on any of our routes. And in addition to that, we do have our Travel Again promotion. So the Travel Again promotion is good for you if you've actually traveled with us before. And this does offer at the end of this year. So you can combine the Travel Again promotion with the current promotion that we have. So make sure that if you have traveled with us, that you get some information from Brian at Uniglobe. And of course, he has me to reach out to if he has any additional questions. So that is the end of the presentation. I know Allie said she was monitoring some questions. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them.